Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. The Old Firm derbies are always a huge occasion, but today doesn't get much bigger than this. With just a month left of the season, Rangers are trailing Celtic by just 1 point, but they do have a game in hand in Brendan Rodgers' side, meaning the result today could swing momentum one way or the other. For the Gers, this is the 50th game they are playing in all competitions after a busy campaign with Champions League qualifying, a Europa League run to the last 16, a League Cup victory, and now a cup semi-final to come up against Hearts. But a constant throughout the season has been their home form in the league. With 13 wins from 16, Rangers have won 11 of their last 12 here at Ibrox. Just the 3 defeats at home in the league, and the first did fall to the hands of Celtic. But Celtic themselves have not had the smoothest of league campaigns on Brendan Rodgers' return, already dropping points in 8 of their 31 league games so far this season, which has left them in a position where Rangers could overtake them with their game in hand. Celtic have only lost twice on the road in the league, but most recently to Hearts at the start of March, which was an opportunity missed as Rangers had lost the day before at home to Motherwell. 2 meetings between these two have already took place this season, and Celtic have won both. The first was a 1-0 result where Kyogo scored the only goal just before half-time at Ibrox. The second meeting at Celtic Park was a 2-1 win for Celtic, with goals scored by Bernardo in the first half and Kyogo in the second half with a late free kick from Tavernier, which was not enough for Rangers to mount their comeback. So for the 439th Old Firm derby in the history of the fixture, which side will step forward an inch closer to that Scottish Premiership title? Both teams are in decent form. Rangers have picked up a couple of losses in their last 5 games, most recently in the league to Motherwell. They also lost at home to Benfica in that Europa League last 16 second leg, and for Celtic they're on a decent run themselves. Their most recent loss was that away loss to Hearts at the start of March, but they've only lost once, Celtic, in their last 13 in the league, winning 10 and drawing 2. So both sides are in decent form for this one, and it could really... the title won't be decided today because these two sides will still have to meet once more this season, but it could really just give us an indication of where the title might end up. You feel like for Celtic, they just can't lose this one, because if Rangers were to win, they would go 2 points clear of Celtic with a game in hand, which if they were to win that game in hand, which isn't a guarantee, but if they were to win that game in hand, it would then put them 5 points clear with just a month of the season to go. So you feel like for Celtic, just don't lose. I don't feel like they need to win as such. I think a draw would be a decent result. I know that would still leave it in the hands of Rangers, but I think sometimes in games you've just got to really try and balance out the positives and negatives of going for a result and trying to win, and also thinking about maybe reserving your performance in terms of being a bit more defensive and just not losing. But I think Celtic will 100% love this occasion of going to Ibrox, being the away team. It's going to be very hostile, and I think they'll enjoy that. They did win here at the start of September in the first meeting between these two. It was a 1-0 win that day where Kyogo's goal right before half-time won them the game. It was a beautiful goal as well, right-footed strike. It took it on early as well, just as he was entering the box, and got it beyond Jack Butland. And then they also won the most recent meeting just before New Year. Celtic won 2-1. And in fairness, Rangers almost nicked a point in that one. Tavernier scored a late free kick in the 88th minute, but before that, Balogun was sent off with 20 minutes to play, and even with 10 men, they almost mounted a pretty impressive comeback. But it wasn't meant to be. So it's definitely Celtic with the bragging rights at the moment in terms of the meetings between these two, and the fact that they've won both. They also did really well last season, Celtic, against Rangers. They won 4 of the 6 they played, and the Rangers win did come at the end of the season on the 13th of May at Ibrox. So in very recent years, it's been Celtic's fixture. But Celtic also went on a run against Rangers where they did struggle from 2019 to 2021 when Rangers started to rise again under Steven Gerrard. They did go 7 without a win against Rangers. So both sides in recent years have had little spells of their own where they've dominated the fixture, but at the moment it's definitely Celtic with 8 wins in their last 12 against today's opposition, and Rangers will want to change that for sure. And it could really give them the driving, the driving factor to push on and go and win this league if they win today. In fairness, that could be said for both sides, because if Celtic do win, they go on to 77 points. They'll be 4 clear of Rangers, and even with their game in hand, Rangers would only be able to stop that gap back to 1. So there's definitely a look of the fixture where you think Celtic should want to go and win to really cancel that game in hand, but at the same time, I think losing this one would be so detrimental with such little of the season left to play. But that's what makes these games so exciting. You just don't know how it's going to end up at the end of the day. You don't know what the table is going to look like until you get the game played, until you get the result in, and then you can really analyse what it means for both teams. And we're just 5 minutes away from kick-off here. So I will go through both lineups, and now we'll start with the home team and Rangers. They make just 2 changes from their last league lineup against Hibernian in a 3-1 win here at Ibrox, and it is Jack Butland in goal with a back 4 of James Tavernier, who is now the highest scoring defender in British football history with 131 goals in 572 games. A really nice record for Tavernier to have. We know how good he is at scoring goals in big games for Rangers. And at left back is going to be Dujon Sterling, who has started all 3 Old Firm derbies this season, and the centre-back pairing of Connor Galton and John Suter, who scored in that 3-0 win against Celtic back last season in May. 2 holding midfielders of Mohamed Diamande and John Lundstrom. 3 behind the striker. On the right is Scott Wright. On the left is Loney from Wolves, Fabio Silva. In behind the striker is Tom Lawrence, who swaps in for Todd Cantwell, and up front through the middle is Cyriel Dessers, who's got 13 goals so far this season in the league. He has got 5 in his last 6, with 2 braces coming against Hearts in late February and against Ross County in mid-February. They'll need him to be on it today if they want to try and bring home the 3 points. And for Celtic, they are unchanged from their last league win and their last league lineup against Livingston away. It is Joe Hart who is in goal. He is retiring at the end of the season. He turns 37 in 2 weeks' time. Back 4 at right back is Alistair Johnston, and at left back is Greg Taylor, who was once of Rangers at youth level but was released for being too small. And the 2 centre-backs, Captain Cameron Carter-Vickers, and alongside him is the 25-year-old Irish centre-back of Liam Scales. And then the holding midfielder is going to be Tomoki Iwata, as he is in at the moment for Callum McGregor, who does return onto the bench. He's a big miss, but he has missed the last 3, Callum McGregor, so he's been able to make the bench for this Old Firm derby. Then in front of Iwata in the holding midfield role, we've got Rio Hatate and Matt O'Reilly, with 3 along the front line. On the right wing is Nicholas Kuhn, who's been brought in from Rapid Vienna in January for £3 million. On the left is going to be Dyson Maida, who's got the 4 goals so far this season, 1 in his last 7, which came against Celtic, in Celtic's 7-1 win against Dundee back in late February. And up front, the main man for Celtic, the one who can win them these types of games, and that is Kyogo, who has got just 10 league goals so far this season, not as many as last season where he was able to bag 27, and he's just got 2 in his last 10 since the game against Rangers back in late December. So his goals have dried up, but he is a man for the big occasion, and there is no doubt that he'll fancy himself scoring in this one today. So they are both starting 11s, and we have got both sets of players emerging onto the pitch here at Ibrox, which it should be an absolute bouncing atmosphere on this Sunday lunchtime, as Philippe Clement, the Rangers head coach, is going to be experiencing his first ever Old Firm derby at Ibrox. His Ibrox record is pretty decent so far. He's managed here 16 times, managing to win 13 of them, and the 2 defeats so far, which unfortunately one of them have come pretty not too long ago in early March, where they lost 2-1 to Motherwell. As we mentioned before, Celtic weren't able to capitalise because the day after they went to Hearts and they were beaten by 2-0. But for Brendan Rodgers, this is a fixture that he's well accustomed to. He's only lost once in an Old Firm derby, and that was at Ibrox back in December 2018. He's also beat Rangers in 3 semi-finals as well. They have avoided each other in this year's semi-finals, but they could meet in the cup final as Rangers take on Hearts and Celtic take on Aberdeen. But Rangers have already got one of the 3 trophies in terms of the League Cup. They are both well within the race for both the Cup and the League title. So it's a huge game for both. And it's just who's going to be the calmest team. I think that's what's going to be the main impact of who's going to win. Who can settle the nerves? Who can relax the most in such a hostile atmosphere? I think last time when Rangers played here against Celtic and lost 1-0, I just think Rangers were just too caught up in the occasion. Celtic stayed pretty calm, did their job, got the goal, defended well, and took the 3 points. So I think Rangers just need to have a bit of a relaxed mindset, knowing how big the game is, but just not letting the occasion get to them too much. Just playing their game, try and get Celtic on the back foot, use their home crowd to their advantage, and try and take 3 points, which would put them back to the top of the Scottish Premiership with a game in hand. As we do kick off here with Rangers kicking right to left, Celtic left to right. It is Rangers with kick off here as with their left back Dujon Sterling. He goes down the line beyond the halfway line, cut out there by Carter Vickers, who has the ball, and he takes it back to Joe Hart in the 18-yard box, who rushes out to clear the ball. Up it goes out to the Celtic left here, where Maida will chase down Tavernier, and it's kicked off Maida, and it's an early goal for Celtic. How fortunate can you get? A ball in behind from Joe Hart was met by Tavernier first, who tried to clear the ball away, but he cleared it straight on to the onrushing Maida, who didn't know too much about it. It just bounced off his leg, and it went towards goal at some pace. Jack Butland could not react quick enough, and in under a minute here, Celtic have an early lead. It was a ball played back to Hart from Carter Vickers. Hart cleared it first time as Dessers was running towards him. It went in behind Tavernier, who then had to chase it down because Maida was on his back. He's tried to clear it out of play for a throw-in. Maida's running alongside him. He kicks it off the winger's right outstretched leg. And like I say, that's come off his leg at some pace. Too quick for Jack Butland to react to it. It's a very fortunate goal, but Celtic will not care at all. And it's an early lead for the away side in such a big Old Firm derby. Because this could give us an indication of who might go on and win this league this season. And that is an unbelievable start. It's got a huge slice of luck to it. But sometimes in games like this, that is what you need. Dyson Maida, with just his 5th of the season in the league. He'd only scored 1 in his previous 7. I don't think he intended for that to go into the back of the net. I just think he was trying to do his pressing work and just try and force Tavernier to clear it and maybe try and nick the ball off him. I don't think he expected the ball to come off him and into the back of the net. But that's what's happened. It is a great start for Celtic. And they lead 1-0 here at Ibrox. What a rapid start that is. A little bit route one from Hart, in behind Tavernier, who probably thought he had more time until he saw Maida chasing him down, and he's tried to clear it out for a throw-in. It's come off the Japanese winger. And he blocked it just on the edge of the box as well, to say. That's how far out he was, and that's how quick it's gone at Butland, that it's gone from around 20 yards out into the back of the net. That came off him at a ridiculous pace. Butland couldn't stop it. And it is Rangers who have got some early work to do as Lundstrom puts it in the box. It bounces towards right. It's cleared by Taylor. And it's now on the halfway line with Suter, who goes into the centre circle here with Goldson. Switches out to the right here to Tavernier, who controls it in the final third. It's kicked away from him by Maida. And there'll be a throw in here for Rangers on the far side. And if you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. We've had a quick start here at Ibrox as Celtic lead 1-0. I think it was under 30 seconds. I think it was 20 odd seconds in. As it goes to the edge of the box, flicked on by Silva into the 18-yard area, but straight into the hands of Joe Hart, who is in an all-yellow strip. this afternoon, as he doesn't have many Old Firm derbies left to play, as he is retiring at the end of the season. Joe Hart, been at the club now since August 2021 after a pretty miserable time for him at Spurs, as Rangers win the ball back in a right wing position. Lawrence nicking the ball there off Liam Scales, and then he was brought down and pulled down by the Irish centre-half. Tom Lawrence wants a booking. It won't be given by today's referee of John Beaton. And it will be a Rangers free kick on the right-hand side, about 25 yards from goal, but quite far out to the far side. So not the angle for a shot for Tavernier, but it is a nice little angle he's got here for a cross. We know he can deliver it. He's so good going forward, Tavernier. Not just his goal scoring, but the balls he does provide in the box for others to score. But they are on the back foot very early on here, and they'll want to try and get back level as soon as possible. As Tavernier floats the ball into the box, and it's straight into the hands of Joe Hart. Confident goalkeeping from the 36-year-old, as mentioned before, turns 37 this month, a 4-time Golden Glove winner in the Premier League. I do think Joe Hart is one of the most underrated goalkeepers of all time. That prime he had in his Premier League days, when he won those 4 Golden Gloves and won multiple Premier Leagues, he was such a good out-and-out goalkeeper. I do think he just took too long to adapt to the new modern game of the goalkeeper almost acting as an outfield player, but on his day, just as an out-and-out shot stopper and a goalkeeper, he was absolutely unbelievable, and there's a reason why he was a 4-time Golden Glove winner. As it is range on the ball, crossing the halfway line with Tavernier on the far side, being closed down here by Maida. Tavernier keeps it away from him, and it's now with the Rangers captain, who lays it off to Diamande, and then goes across to his central midfield partner of Lundstrom, who's been closed down by O'Reilly, but he can work it to Sterling on this near side, tripped by Kuhn, and that'll be a free kick for Rangers. Their new German winger, experienced in his first Old Firm derby here. Celtic's new number 10, former German under-20s international, now at the age of 24. As Rangers have worked it to the far side now with Wright. Goes to the halfway line here with Goldson. He'd only ever scored twice in this fixture, and they both came in the same game in a brace in October 2020 at Celtic Park. As Lundstrom wants to switch out to the right wing, it's nowhere near right. It's headed forward by Taylor, where it's played forward here by O'Reilly. Hatate's ball out to the right wing just goes behind Kuhn, and it'll be a throw in for Rangers just inside their own half here on the near side. As we're 6.5 minutes in, Rangers are trailing by a goal to nil. Dyson, Maida with the very fortunate, but I say fortunate, he's put in the effort to close down Tavernier with his clearance, and as Tavernier tried to clear it, it's deflected off Maida straight beyond Jack Butland in the Rangers goal. So even though you can say it's fortunate, he's worked for it. He's put the yards in early on to close down Tavernier. Sterling goes forward here to the edge of the box of Dessers, who uses his body to try and get away from Scales, but it's a good tackle by the Celtic centre-back in the 18-yard box. It's now with the right back with Johnston. Goes down the line here. It's a brilliant ball, and Celtic can look to attack here. Kuhn on the right wing position tries to drive on the inside of Suter, but he fouls him as he couldn't get beyond him. Pulled back the Rangers centre-half, and it's a well-won free kick there by John Suter, who's making his 8th start in a row in the league. Building up a partnership alongside Connor Galton, as he did well there to get in front of Kuhn and take the ball off the winger and then win the free kick off him. It's Celtic throwing on the halfway line on this near side with Johnston, who throws it here into Iwata, who can't quite return it to Johnston, and that's a very cheap throw-in to give away there from the 27-year-old Japanese holding midfielder who turns 27 today. And he's got off to a good start on his birthday with his side currently leading. As is with Connor Galton on the edge of the 18-yard box, works out to the right-hand side here to Wright, who's got Taylor chasing him down. Wright turns and plays it forward, and he finds Tavernier on the halfway, returns it to Wright, whose heavy touch gets himself forward, but he's tackled there by Scales. And then Taylor gives it away. Picked up by Diamande on the far side, who's then tripped from behind there by Maida. And that'll be a free kick, I presume, as Scott Wright has stayed down here after those number of challenges just went in. The one on Scales, who jumped up and, to be fair, got the ball very cleanly. May have just caught right, I'm not sure, but I think he's won the ball quite well there. Then number 5, Liam Scales, who scored from quite far out against Rangers last season when he was on loan at Aberdeen. It's quite a worldie of a strike in the end from Liam Scales, who's now got himself in the Celtic team as a first-choice centre-half. As it's Rangers on the ball, halfway line to the left wing here to Sterling, who's trying to hold it up against Carter Vickers, shoved to the ground by the Celtic captain, and it'll be a free kick for Rangers just under 10 minutes in. As the referee wants a word here of Carter Vickers, who I think tried to slow down the restart there. And obviously the referee doesn't want to give away cheap, silly bookings, but at the end of the day, Carter Vickers knows he can't be doing that. For me, he should have really been butt there, kicking the ball away a little bit, but nothing's been given as Dessers lays it off Florence, plays it through for Silva, who's tackled well by Scales. An important challenge. And it's gone into the hands there of Joe Hart as Fabio Silva stays down. Look clean to me. Celtic try and play out from the back here with the left back Taylor. Just about shifts it away from right. Goes into the 18-yard box here to Scales. It's now with Hart in the 6-yard area. As the referee will eventually blow the whistle as Fabio Silva has stayed down here. It looks like a good challenge to me. He's really in pain here, Silva. Holding his right boot. Let's have a look. He was played through by Dessers, and I think he was just trodden on his toe, but he got the ball on the whole there, Scales. Maybe a slight little follow-through, but it didn't look like anything that dangerous. And of course, Fabio Silva will be able to get back to his feet and run this one off. Maybe a bit of play acting there from Fabio Silva, I don't know, but it didn't look like there was much in that, to be fair. So we're back in Celtic possession with Joe Hart on the ball. It was only lost twice in 10 Scottish Premiership Old Firm derbies, keeping 4 clean sheets in 13. As he'll send this ball out to the right-hand side here. It's a high one. It's headed away by Suter. In behind for Dessers to chase it. Will he get there before it goes out? No, he won't. And it'll be a Celtic goal kick. Very commanding header one at the back there by Suter. Almost. He did put too much on it. There's Scales at left centre-back. Plays it down the line. It's a low ball. It's flicked on by Maida. That's a brilliant pass. Iwata tries to find Kyogo in behind, who wasn't making the run there. And it's been picked up by Galton. It's back to Butland and it clears it and it deflects off Kyogo. But that time it went to Sterling and he clears it up towards Wright, who can't win the header on Taylor. Played forward there by O'Reilly. As far as Suter, who's midway side his own half. And he'll turn back to play to Butland here, who clears it first time with his left foot. Goes up towards Fabio Silva, who's caught by Carter Vickers. And that'll be another free kick for Rangers, just inside their own half. Fabio Silva wanted the booking. It won't be given to Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers hasn't featured in any Old Firm derby so far this season after struggling with injury at the start of the campaign with a hamstring problem and then didn't feature in the game in December. As Butland goes to Tavernier at right back, midway side of the Rangers half. He's going to go long here. He's going to go up towards Dessers. He can't quite get it in behind him because Carter Vickers cuts it out and it loosely drops here to Hatate for Celtic, in behind for Maida, finds him perfectly. The ball goes across early and it can't quite reach Kyogo. But Celtic look on it when they're going forward. Rangers have had a lot more of the ball, but that's a brilliant slip pass through there by Hatate to Maida as the 3 Japanese players there for Celtic try to combine together. And they weren't too far away. There's Lundstrom, just about keeps the ball away there from O'Reilly. It's now with Lundstrom in his own half. He tries to go over the top of the Celtic defence here, looking for Fabio Silva, who won't beat Johnston to it. But Johnston's trying to see this one out. Instead, he has to volley out for a throw-in. As Fabio Silva was right on his back there. He couldn't see it out for a goal kick. The Canadian fullback. And they're taking it quickly with Lawrence. Tackled by Johnston. Cleared forward for Celtic up to the halfway line, all as far as the chest of Suter, whose short pass drops to Hatate. And as Hatate tries to go forward quickly, it is cut out by Suter. And it's out for a throw-in for Celtic on this near side. But Celtic just seem to be very calm so far. Took the early lead, not got too ahead of themselves. They're almost playing the game like it's 0-0. Not exactly protecting their lead, just trying to add to it when they can. Not over-attacking as such, waiting for the right opportunities. As on the halfway line, Hatate has the ball as he turns away from Diamande. Then he's tackled from behind, but he's got the ball according to the referee. And it's Rangers back in possession with Galton in the back line. Goes to his centre-back partner here of Suter on the edge of the 18-yard box, being closed down by Hatate. Clips out to the right-hand side, can't find Tavernier. And it's out for a Celtic throw-in on the far side. It's not a brilliant start from Rangers so far. Take away that early goal, which was what they'll probably see as quite an unfortunate goal to concede around 20 seconds in, but it's just, it just seems like, again, they've not been able to really get hold of the occasion early on. A lot of over-the-top through balls they're attempting, and none of them are really coming off at the moment. It's just probably building frustration in the ground here as Butland in the 6-yard box hoofs this one away. Down the right-hand side, looking for Scott Wright, header won by Greg Taylor. It'll be Diamande, though, to head it backwards to Tavernier, chests it and plays it back to Galton, keeps it away from Maida, then forward to Lundstrom, who turns, but then has to go back to Galton, who's getting the ball caught under his feet there, and he's been tripped by O'Reilly, and he wins the free kick, but he had to be careful there, Galton, because if O'Reilly had won the ball, he was through on goal with just Butland to beat. But this free kick, just in the right-back area, and it'll be Butland to come out to take it. As he's going to kick this one long here in the central area to the edge of the box towards Dess, who's battling with Kartovic. It goes beyond both of them, and he drops in the area to Fabio Silva, who turns, can't shoot, taken off him there by O'Reilly. Now play to the right-hand side here to Kuhn, who's got Sterling closing him down, and he kicks it out for a throw-in for Celtic. Good aggressive defending there by Dujon Sterling on Nicholas Kuhn. As Alistair Johnson at right back will take this throw-in. Appeared 40 times for his country. Alistair Johnston, 3 times at the World Cup in Qatar. As we take the throw-in eventually, O'Reilly, heavy touch, gives it away to Lundstrom, who charges down the left wing. Low ball in, it's dealt with by Hiwata and cleared by O'Reilly up to the halfway line where Sterling beats Kuhn to it, and then he's tripped from behind by the German winger. And it's a Rangers free kick taken quickly out to the left to Lundstrom, just about keeps it away from O'Reilly. Lawrence tries to take over, but he can't get around Iwata, who can eventually clear it off Lawrence and win the throw-in for his side. As we are back with the action, it's Butland with the ball in the 18-yard box. Celtic there going long, but Kyogo not really chasing that one down. He's been slightly quiet in the opening 17 minutes as Tavernier gives it away. Wright is nowhere near him in the right wing position, gives it straight to Taylor. We're now with O'Reilly in the midfield towards the near side here, lays it off for Kuhn on the edge of the box, one-on-one with Sterling, onto his left foot. Kuhn will shoot, and it's blocked off by Diamande, and he'll roll out for a throw-in in this final third for Celtic. On the near side, good block there by Diamande. It's also his first taste of an Old Firm derby for Mohamed Diamande as he joined on loan from Nordsjælland in January. There's Johnston. Finds O'Reilly, tries to return the ball with a back heel, but it's cut out by Fabio Silva, and he clears it down the Rangers left where it's headed out by Carter Vickers. Just making sure the ball didn't reach Cyril Dessers there. Good physical defending by Cameron Carter-Vickers, who spent 13 years at Spurs, 7 loan spells during his time at the club. Never really made it as Butland's clearance deflects off Kyogo, who slid in and got in his way as he tried to clear it. About 3 times now that's happened where Rangers have gone to clear the ball, but they've been blocked off by Celtic, and obviously one of them led to the opening goal here. Is Carter Vickers again battling with Dessers, can only clear it as far as Fabio Silva, who goes to Lawrence, tries to feed it over the top to Dessers on the left side of the box, but he kicked it straight forward and into the hands of Joe Hart. And again, it's just not quite clicking for Rangers at the moment as they do trail. I think they've got to forget that goal. It's almost like they feel like they're already chasing the game, which I know they are technically, I understand that, but sometimes when you put yourself in that mindset of chasing a game, you can just do silly passes, you can rush things, you can try and force things too much. I think they've just got to relax a little bit and just try and make their way through the Celtic team, not forcing balls over the top constantly. As Lundstram switches out to the left, that's a high ball towards Sterling, who can head it down the line here to the halfway line where Fabio Silva holds it up. He's facing towards his own goal. His pass deflects off Kuhn, straight to Hatate, who goes across to Iwata here for Celtic, and they've got it to the left wing to Maida. One-on-one with Tavernier. Maida on the outside of Tavernier, crosses it, and it's a overhit one, straight over the crossbar, and a goal kick for Rangers and Butland. They just seem the much better team when they're on the ball. Celtic, as soon as they get it, they're getting it forward, and they're looking dangerous, panicking the Rangers back line. And again, Sterling's pass intercepted from Johnston, but the ball deflects back to Sterling, and they can restart on the edge of the 18-yard box here with Suter. Now with Butland. If you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. As we've got another commentary coming later on today, as we're covering Manchester United against Liverpool in the Premier League. There's Goldson. Goes across to Suter. High press here from Celtic. Rangers struggling to get out of their own half as they go to the left back of Sterling. Charges forward, gets beyond the halfway line, pulled back by Kuhn. And that'll be a free kick for Rangers. And that'll be a yellow card given to Nicholas Kuhn. Pull of the shirt there as Sterling had got in front of him and was getting away. Good refereeing that by John Beaton. Stamping down on stuff like that. Like I say, Sterling had got in front of him and tugged the shirt back. Just cannot do that. And it's Rangers back on the ball. Diamande, high ball, over the top, down the left-hand side. Fabio Silva will chase it. It won't go out of play here. Carter Vickers will attempt to try and see it out. Carter Vickers gets pushed to the ground, though, and that'll be a free kick right next to the byline for Celtic. As Carter Vickers tried to see it out. It didn't seem like there was going to be enough pace on it, but he was nudged to the ground by Fabio Silva, so he's won a free kick. And it'll be taken here by Joe Hart, who passes it forward to Carter Vickers, back to Hart, being closed down by Dess as he works it across in the 18-yard box here to Liam Scales, Dublin-born centre-half, and he can play it forward into Iwata for Celtic. Lundstrom's on the case, and he can't quite nick it off him. He works it to Hatate, back to Iwata. His pass deflects forward to O'Reilly, and out to the left to Taylor, who will bring it forward midway side the Rangers half. Finds Maida in the final third. He's got Tavernier in front of him. He keeps it away from the Rangers captain for now and plays it to Hatate. Can't return the ball to Maida. One back by Diamande, and Lundstrom can bring it away for Rangers. He gets on over the halfway line. He's got Dessers making a run in behind. He's going to try and feed it towards him, but he's overhit the pass and into the hands of Joe Hart, who was out quickly to smother the ball. And Celtic, the team, back in possession. Had a failed Champions League campaign this season. Celtic not had a lot of luck in the Champions League in the last decade or so. Their Champions League win against Feyenoord in the last game of the group stage was their first home win in the Champions League for 10 years. Their last one before that was in October 2013. And again, they just struggled massively in the Champions League, which they want to be in again next season. And that can happen through winning the Scottish Premiership. Carter Vickers in the centre circle for Celtic. Lays it off to the right back of Johnston. It's now with Scales just inside the Celtic half here. Brings it forward. Rangers back off. Hold their position. Hold their shape. As he's still with Scales here. He wants to play forward. Finds Hatate, who's been tackled too easily by Diamande. And right plays it through for Dessers, who won't get there ahead of Carter Vickers. Lays it off for Hart, who will clear it first time. So I'm saying about rushing it, that pass didn't need to go so quickly there to Dessers. He wasn't even on his bike as the ball was played, so he was never going to get there. His right takes a good touch forward, bundled to the ground by Taylor. And that'll be a free kick for Rangers, just towards the right-hand side. Well won by Scott Wright, who's only ever won twice against Celtic in 16 previous appearances against them. Never scoring as well. So there'll be a chance here for Tavernier to put this in the box. Celtic's defensive line is just about 5 yards in front of the 18-yard box. So a high line for Celtic as they try and catch Rangers offside as Tavernier tries to play a low ball down the line towards Fabio Silva, who got there, cleared it off Johnston, and that'll be a corner on the far side for Rangers. Just tried to play that cheeky little free kick down the right-hand side, try to catch out Celtic, and it did look like he kept that in fairness, Fabio Silva. And his clearance was deflected, and away it went. As the wind is strong. It's very windy right now at Ibrox. You can tell by the corner flag at times, the way that's moving around. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger here from Diamande, who puts it in for Goldson, and he heads it over the crossbar. It's a fantastic delivery from Diamande. And Goldson, who's still searching for his first goal of the season in all competitions from 5 yards out, beat Carter Vickers aerially. And he should have scored. I think it's even come off his shoulder, which I think is the reason why it's directed itself over the crossbar. You feel like if Goldson got his head to it, that could have been 1-1. Celtic play out from the back with on the far side with Maida. Keeps it away from Tavernier. Lays it off to Taylor. Goes forward. It's a high ball towards O'Reilly. Goes beyond him and headed on by Kuhn. O'Reilly will chase this. It'll get to Goldson first, who heads it forward. And it's Lundstrom to get there for Rangers. And he plays out to the left wing here to Fabio Silva, who will keep this in on the near side in the final third. Carter Vickers comes across to try and tackle him. He plays it inside towards Sterling. It's just overhit. And it runs through there for Iwata for Celtic. And they'll bring the ball away on the right-hand side here with O'Reilly on the halfway line. He is Celtic's leading scorer this season in the Scottish Premiership, O'Reilly, with 12 goals, 8 of them coming away from home. It's Maida on the left wing, poked away from him by Tavernier. It's going for a corner here. If Maida can see it out, he can't. Tavernier avoided it, and that'll be a throw-in for Celtic instead. Seems like he's really struggling, Tavernier, defensively against Dyson Maida, as he clears the ball away from him from the throw-in in the 18-yard box. Only as far as Johnston, whose header does reach O'Reilly, slips it through for Maida, who tries to place it into the bottom right corner, and it's met by Butland. Another huge opportunity for Celtic, who seem so in control when they're on the ball, seem so settled, and it's just too easy for them at the moment. And Maida probably should have had his second of the game. Celtic still have the ball, edge of the box. Hatate will hit it from the far post. And just wide it goes from Rio Hatate, who's returning back to the Celtic team. He's struggled with a hamstring injury from October to December, then was out with a calf problem from January to March. The start he made in the last game against Livingston was his first appearance for Celtic since the start of the year. As they see, Maida, that's a big chance for him in the box. As it was saved by Butland, he hit it straight at the goalkeeper. If he goes for the corner there, that possibly goes in. And Hatate wasn't too far away from the edge of the box as well, aiming towards the bottom left corner. As Rangers come forward, Tom Lawrence, everyone backs off him from the edge of the area. Lawrence will strike it. It comes off scales, back off Lawrence and to Iwata for Celtic, as they then curl it out to the right wing here towards Kuhn, who will keep it in. And he'll chase it down, but the touch is way too heavy, straight into the 18-yard box here for Butland, who will collect it for Rangers. Celtic have it on this near side. Sterling forward to Silva. Back to Sterling as we're in the Celtic half now. Sterling wants to switch it. He slips as he does it, and it's headed away on the edge of the box by Greg Taylor, but straight to Lawrence. Heads it to Dessers. Back to Lawrence. Tries to get it through to Diamande, who won't get to the ball first, and then he trips Hatate. And there'll be a Celtic free kick. Just seems like it's just not coming together for Rangers at the moment. Just don't seem very fluid in their attacking play. As there is Gareth Southgate in the stands. I'm presuming he's having a watch of Jack Butland, who was close to a call-up for the March internationals, but wasn't to be for Jack Butland, whose last time in the England squad was in June 2019. He does have 9 caps for England, the 31-year-old goalkeeper. As it's Celtic with the throw-in on the far side with Taylor. Throws it here to Kyogo, chests it towards Maida. Beaten to it by Tavernier, who gets it forward to Dessers, who holds it up, flicks it into Diamande, who then goes high over the top. Silva will chase this one. Hart's going to come for it, and he'll catch it. Strange ball that from Diamande he just kicked it, almost like he just kicked it in the air, just hoping someone could do something with it instead of actually directing a pass. It was just like a hopeful ball. And it was an easy gathering in the end for Joe Hart. But Rangers do have it back midway inside their own half with Suter. Finds right, turns forward, away from Taylor, then brought down there by Iwata. And that'll be a free kick for Rangers in the centre circle. As the 2 games in the league this season where Rangers have had the lowest amounts of possession. They've both been against Celtic, home and away. So they usually do dominate the ball, but when it comes to playing against Celtic, it is a bit more evenly spread, the possession. As Butland's ball out to the Rangers left is headed away down the Celtic right by Johnston. Can't be kept alive by Kuhn. Hooked away by Diamande to the halfway line where it's volleyed out by Scales. It'll be a throw in for Rangers. Seen out of play there by Sterling. And throws it quickly back there to John Suter, who's coming up to half a century of appearances for Rangers. In his second season at the club, he's now on appearance number 48. It's Galton down the right-hand side, straight through to Hart. And that pass from Connor Galton was towards absolutely nobody in blue. And it's an easy regathering of possession for Celtic through Joe Hart. I just don't understand what Rangers are trying to do here. I don't understand. They keep going for these balls over the top in the wind, and the wind's just almost holding them up, and they're not very directed. They're not being directed very well as well. So I don't get the game plan. I think it'd be better to keep the ball on the floor for Rangers and get the likes of Lawrence on the ball, try to play balls through to likes of Dessers and Silva, not just trying to almost hit and hope, it seems. So we're just under half an hour in here. Is Celtic on the ball with their left centre-half of Liam Scales, who has made 3 appearances for Ireland now. Came at the end of last year as he's passed through there to Taylor, goes under his foot. Tavernier picks it up, but he's caught on his toes there from behind by Maida, who gets away from Diamande, turns away from Sterling, lays it off here as a cross goes in, and it's a great save from Butland. O'Reilly thought he'd scored, directing his header to the top right corner, but Butland was equal to it. That's a brilliant save. Maida taking the ball off Tavernier too easily, working it to the right-hand side here, where the cross was put in by Kuhn, and from around 10 yards out, centrally in the box, O'Reilly headed towards the top right corner, but it was brilliant save by Butland as the cross goes in from the corner, headed away there by Suter, back out to the right-hand side here for Celtic. Kuhn on the cross, in it goes, all the way through, Scales tries to get there, and it's caught by Butland. Scales went for it the first time, almost just bounced off him, and went into his path, so he tried to get onto it a second time, but Butland was there. Brilliant cross from Kuhn. Came off Scales, he didn't know too much about it, but he tried to chase down that touch. But Butland was out quickly, bravely as well. And that was a brilliant minute of goalkeeping there from Jack Butland. Especially that save from the O'Reilly header. As the cross went in, flicked on by Maida. Came off the elbow of Galton, then onto the stomach of Scales, and then into the gloves of Butland. I mean, they can't be giving that as a penalty, surely. It came off his elbow. His hand's tucked in there, and hand's tucked in on his chest, and it's just come off his elbow. I feel like that would be the harshest of penalties. Surely they're not going to give that. I'm surprised they're even looking at it. This would be harsh. VAR is Nick Walsh, and his assistant is Frank Connor. And they're going to send the referee to the monitor here. I can't believe this. So the handball, the apparent handball, has come from the cross from Kuhn, which found its way through to Scales. And as it went to Scales, it came off him through a touch off Goldson's elbow. But his hand's tucked in to his chest. But unfortunately, his elbow's just hanging out. I don't know, for me. If that's handball, I don't know. And the referee's giving it. Wow. In fairness, Goldson isn't necessarily complaining, as it deflected off Goldson's elbow. VAR have told the referee, John Beaton, to go and have a look at the monitor to see if it should be a penalty for handball, and he believes it should be. And Celtic could go 2-0 up here in probably the most bizarre circumstances. The first goal they scored within 20 seconds came from a Tavernier clearance which deflected off the outstretched leg of Maida beyond the goalkeeper, and now they've got a penalty as it deflected off the elbow of Goldson in the box, and Matt O'Reilly's over it. This would be his 13th of the season. It'd be his 9th away from home in the league. He scored 2 in his last 4. This would be his first ever in an Old Firm derby. Can Matt O'Reilly put this ball in the back of the net from 12 yards out with his left foot against Butland. O'Reilly scores, lifts it down the middle. It's calm, it's composed, it's full of quality. And Celtic have a 2-goal lead here at Ibrox with just over 10 minutes left to play in the first half. Butland dived to his left. O'Reilly just very calmly lifted it down the middle of the goal. He scored that penalty like no one was watching him, like there was no pressure on it at all. When in fact, he had the weight of all those Celtic fans watching from home. But he dealt with that pressure very well. And he put Celtic 2 up. They double their lead. It's Rangers 0, Celtic 2. 2 goals which have come in strange ways. But Celtic will not complain, as they are 2-0 up here in the Old Firm derby. They go 4 clear of Rangers in the league title race. Rangers do have a game in hand, so they could cut that lead to 1 point. But with just over a month left of the season, you feel like this would be a huge win for Celtic. The day just got better. It certainly did get better if you're a Celtic fan. I mean, if you're watching the game and you're watching the stream, please get involved in the chat. Like, do you think that was a penalty? I feel like it's slightly harsh because Goldson's tucking his hand into his chest, but he is also leaving the elbow out to almost try and maybe block the ball. Even if he's trying to act like he's not. The elbow is out. So I don't know. I'd like to know other people's opinions. As Celtic cross a ball into the far post. Kyogo with the header. And he can't direct it on target. Quite far wide in the end. Kyogo has had a very quiet first half. He's been rarely involved. But an early cross went in there from Taylor to the far post. He beat Suter to it. But like I say, he couldn't direct the header on target. It's Goldson's ball forward. Cut out there by Iwata for Celtic, but he can't keep it. Cut out by Wright. It's now a Lundstrom in the central area. Pokes it to the left to Silva. Tackled strongly from behind by Johnston, but he got the ball. Fabio Silva stayed down once again. He stayed down last time after a challenge and then got straight back up after he found out he wasn't going to get a penalty. Oh, as a pass back from Carter Vickers is short from O'Reilly. But he just about gets it back to Carter Vickers. That is very fortunate. It's Greg Taylor's ball down the left. Finds Maida. Returns it to Taylor. He's got Scott right in front of him. Lifts it over the top for Maida, who can get the touch inside, but he can't shrug off Tavernier. Galton takes it away, but his touch is heavy. And the last touch there comes off Hatate. And there'll be a Rangers throwing on the far side. Not the first Old Firm derby that Philippe Clement would have wanted. First Old Firm derby at Ibrox as Tavernier throws it down the right-hand side. Headed forward by Taylor to the halfway line. Well, it's headed forward by Lundstrom, headed away by Iwata towards Kyogo, who loses out to Galton. His header isn't great. Hatate lifts it to Kyogo, who then touches it down into the centre circle here for O'Reilly. Plays it into the onrushing Johnston from right back, who plays it in behind for Kuhn. Is he onside? Flag stays down for now as he puts the ball in. It's fumbled by Butland, and he eventually gets back hold of it. As Kyogo tried to get it towards goal. The ball from Johnston's brilliant. He's onside there, Kuhn. The cross isn't bad as well. Put Butland under pressure, and he almost fumbled it straight to Kyogo. As Rangers have it in the 18-yard box of Celtics with Dessers. Touches it towards right. Deflects off right as it was tried to be cleared by Maida. It's now Diamande. Lundstrom's to his left. He finds him. Lundstrom, midway side the Celtic half. Lifts it out to the left towards Sterling. That is a horrific pass. And it's straight out of play. This is just a really bad first half performance from Rangers. Don't get me wrong. Celtic have played really well. They have played the occasion to a T. Been so calm and just played their game. Allowed Rangers to have the ball, but when they get the ball themselves, they've just knocked it around really nicely. And they are fully deserved of the lead. I think they deserve it completely. In all honesty. And this reminds me a little bit of when Rangers played Benfica not too long ago in their second leg tie in the Europa League at Ibrox. They lost 1-0 and it just seemed pretty similar. Just they were rushing too much, just trying to force the ball in the back of the net, trying to force the ball in behind. And in the end, they were knocked out through just a really poor poor performance. Yes, Benfica did okay, but I don't think Rangers helped themselves here, as O'Reilly has it. Tries to slip it through towards Kyogo. Good interception for the slide challenge from Suter. Loose ball drops to Lundstrom. As Fabio Silva's gone down off the ball here from Johnston. Fabio Silva acting like he has been shot in the face. Come on, mate. Let's not have any of this. This is embarrassing. What are you doing, Fabio Silva? He's obviously been caught in the face, but the way he's on the ground, rolling around, holding his face, kicking his legs out, it just cringes me out a little bit. I don't think there's any need on it. And it's not even a contact in his face. Don't get me wrong. Johnston blocks him off. Johnston looks away from the ball and just looks at Silva to block him off. It's definitely a foul, but he's not caught him in the face. So I don't know why Fabio Silva's doing what he did. And it is a booking for Johnston, which I agree with, because like I say, he took his eyes off the ball and just blocked off Silva. You can't do that. You can't take your eyes off the ball like he did. But the way Silva decides to roll around, just not for me. Just get on with it. I don't think he caught him in the face. I think he just blocked him off. As it's a Rangers on the ball, just in front of the halfway line towards this near side here. It's got just over 5 minutes left of the first 45. Suter plays it forward for Lawrence. Apologies. Tried to slip it through for Dessers again, but he didn't get through. It just seems like they're forcing it too much, Rangers here. As Kuhn on the right wing, forward towards Kyogo. It's a big block there from Lundstrom. Drops to Diamande, who turns forward. Plays it out to the right here to Tavernier, who just in front of the halfway line now. Plays it inside to Diamande, but no one's there in the centre circle. Picked up by O'Reilly. Slipped through for Kyogo on the edge of the box. He enters the 18-yard area. His first shot's blocked from Goldson, then it's cleared by Suter. But this is a really bad first half here for Rangers. Just seems like the pressure gets too much for them in front of their home crowd in an Old Firm. When they fill the stands up, just seems like they feel the pressure too much, and I think Celtic thrive off that. That nervousness that Rangers show. It's like they feed off it, they like it. And that's why they're 2-0 up at the moment. Goals from Maida and O'Reilly. As Johnston at right back has it. Goes forward, deflects off Fabio Silva. It's now with Dujon Sterling, who goes down the line here, looking for Dessers. Deflects inside from Carter Vickers, straight to Lawrence in the centre circle now. Not got many options to his right, but he lays it off to his left to Diamande, who can poke it out wide left here to Silva. Caught late there by O'Reilly, and that'll be another yellow card here for Celtic. Johnston's been booked. O'Reilly's been booked as well now, in quick succession. As Diamande just played it out to the left. He was caught as O'Reilly just slid in. There's going to be a chance here for Rangers to put it in the box. Tavernier's come over to this left-hand side to cross the ball in. 50 so yards out, so it's quite far from goal, but definitely an opportunity to lift it in the box here. He goes to the far post, where it's headed inside by Goldson, cleared by Scales. Goes over the head of Lundstrom here to Sterling, who's furthest back for Rangers. He'll clip it back into the box towards the Rangers left here, where it goes towards Dessers. Kicked out of play by Johnston, who was taking no chances with that one, and he can seize the corner. Rangers ball on this near side now, as they have done nothing to fret Joe Hart in the Celtic goal at the moment. Their biggest chance did come from a corner previously, as Suter's going to have to get strapped up here. He's very bloody in his face. I think he's been caught in the eye area, and there's a lot of blood at the moment. So Suter's off the pitch, which is frustrating for Rangers, because he's definitely someone they'd aim for in the box, but they're going to continue with the game. Tavernier swings it in towards goal, and it's had to be pushed over by Hart. If you're watching the Premier League yesterday, you may have seen Ward-Prowse score directly from a corner from the same position against Wolves, and Tavernier tried to do the same, and I don't think it's a bad idea. As Suter... As Goldson won that original header from the free kick before, he caught his own teammate in the face. I think that sums it up there. Goldson catching Suter, who's still getting treatment as Diamande swings the ball in, cleared by Carter Vickers. He'll fall here to Tavernier, who's furthest back for Rangers. He recycles it in the box towards the left-hand side. It goes over Lundstrom, who falls to the ground. And I think he goes out for a throw-in, so Celtic can keep themselves... Rangers can keep themselves high up the pitch here. Suter is still being dealt with here, so Rangers down to 10 men at the moment, just before half-time. Thrown down the line here, it's a huge throw-in down the right wing here to Kuhn, taken off him by Sterling, who has it just in front of the halfway line on this near side, has to go back towards Butland. It's a very short pass, but he will get there ahead of Kyogo. Butland sends it back out to the left-hand side, headed forward by Johnston, forced into the centre circle for Diamande, who gets it forward through Lundstrom. It's now with Lawrence, who will go on his own. It's a heavy tackle, but it's a fair one from Taylor. Played forward by Scales, inside by Maida, cut out by Diamande as it didn't reach Hatate, and then Diamande went down, and he takes the free kick quickly. On this near side with Sterling. It's Tavernier in the centre circle. 1-2 with Lundstrom. It's now out to the right wing to Scott Wright. Keeps it away from Taylor. Goes forward to Lawrence, who can't meet it, but Tavernier will chase it instead. But it's well shielded by Carter Vickers and eventually goes back to Hart, who gets it away first time. Up towards Hatate. Can't beat Diamande to the ball. Suter's reintroduced onto the pitch here. As Diamande's ball is so poor. What on earth is that? O'Reilly slips it through for Kyogo. Goldson's trying to get across to stop him. Kyogo holds it up. Lack of support, but he eventually finds Hatate, who on the edge of the area will strike it towards goal, and it goes wide. No deflection according to the referee. Every time Celtic come forward, they look like they're going to score. And Rangers look absolutely lost. They look like they have no idea what to do when they're on the ball. It's quite a painful watch, really. And it's Goldson on the ball. He's been forced back to Butland in the 18-yard area. He'll clear it first time here into the centre circle. Headed forward by Lawrence. Header won by Scales. Straight to Lawrence, who heads it forward himself towards Fabio Silva. Works himself to the right wing. Turns. Plays it through. What an interception that is from Carter Vickers. Launching himself in the air and hooking the ball away. That is brilliant defending from the American. But Rangers win it back through Dessers. Taking it off O'Reilly. And Diamande will bring it forward. 2 minutes have added on time here. We've played 30 seconds of it. Diamande forward to Scott Wright, who's took up a central area, slips it through for Dessers, touches it for Silva, big save from Hart, still alive, Silva on the second try, saved again by Hart, Silva in the box again with the ball, away from goal, it deflects off Johnston and it's cleared eventually, out to Lundstrom on the left hand side, huge chance before the break for Rangers to cut the deficit in half, but Hart with a double save as Wright gives it away on the edge of the box, can't find Silva, it's now Hatate. He's been closed down by Diamande. Hatate still has it, using his body well and playing out to the left-hand side. Brilliant midfield work there by Hatate. Taylor goes inside now to Iwata. And then back out to the left to Taylor. And we're just less than a minute to go. Rangers almost getting one back there through Fabio Silva. He's just got one goal in his last 7 for Rangers in the league. His last goal coming against Hearts on the 24th of February. It's Celtic build from the back. In their defensive third with Scales. Goes to the left back of Taylor. Down the line into the Rangers half. Can't find Maida. Kyogo will chase this loose ball, but Goldson will get there first and plays it back to Butland, who returns it to Goldson as we've got just 10 seconds left divided on time here. Goldson switches out to the left towards absolutely no one in blue. Played forward by Johnston. Free try for an attack for Celtic at the end of the half as Kuhn switches it to the left. Header away by Tavernier as it was reaching Maida. And that is where the referee will blow for half-time here at Ibrox. And what a 45 minutes it has been for Celtic. Once again, coming to Ibrox and just simply being the better team. They took a ridiculously early lead within 20 seconds. Dyson Maida was closing down a ball over the top of the Rangers defence from Hart. Tavernier got there first, tried to clear it out for a throw-in, but Maida stretched out his right leg, blocked the clearance, and it went straight towards goal, completely deceiving Butland, who I don't think expected it coming towards his own goal. It went beyond him in a flash, and within 20 seconds, Celtic took a lead, and with 10 minutes before the break, they got themselves a penalty. A cross in the box from Kuhn on the right-hand side. It was flicked on by Maida. It came off the elbow of Goldson. It was seen as a foul. It was seen as foul play from the referee. A handball was given. O'Reilly from the spot, scoring in his first ever Old Firm derby, lifting it down the middle ever so calmly, doubling Celtic's lead. But if you just want to see the stats here, Rangers have had 3 shots. They've had 1 on target. Celtic have had 11 shots, 5 on target. And that is why they're leading 2-0. When they've had the ball, they've looked so dangerous. Rangers have looked completely lost. They look like they have no idea what to do. And it's been a Celtic performance that has earned them that has rightly earned them a 2-goal lead. They are 4 points clear at the top, even though Rangers have a game in hand. But here at Ibrox, after the first half, it is Rangers 0, Celtic 2. And like I say, very deserved. Celtic have been unbelievable. Possession's been pretty even as well, 52% for Rangers, 48% for Celtic. But when Celtic have had the ball, they've looked really good. Just so calm. It's almost like they're playing in front of nobody, even though they're surrounded by a full 4 stands of Rangers supporters. So good from Celtic. Don't get me wrong. Quite a fortunate way to take the lead. Maybe 20 seconds in. Tavernier just trying to clear it for a throw-in. But like I say, Maida tracked him all the way, stuck his right leg out, blocked it, and it somehow, like I say, when he blocked it, Maida, the pace it came off him towards Butland was scary. Absolutely zipped past him. No chance really for Butland, who would have seen it late anyway, as I don't think he would have expected the ball to come towards his goal. But it just seems like, and I said this before in the first half, because Rangers went behind so early, it just seems like they've took up the mindset of having to chase the game from minute 1, which I understand technically they are because they're trailing, but you don't have to play like you're chasing the game. Rushing passes, sloppy balls into midfield, communication not there. It just seems all off for Rangers. And I know it could have been a different game maybe if it had been 0-0 for a bit longer than 20 seconds. But even so, they're professional footballers. They've got to realise, yes, we've gone behind early. It was quite an unlucky way to go behind. But let's just relax. Let's stay calm for the moment. And let's just try and work our way back in this game. They've just tried to get themselves back in the game straight away. And sometimes that's not how it works in football. You've got to just relax, build yourself into the game, and then eventually the goal will come. It just seems like they're rushing everything. It all seems off. And that is why they are trailing at the moment at Ibrox. That was a very enjoyable commentary. You beamed into Australia. It's crazy, man. Every other stream, there's people who are telling me where they're watching from, and it's all around the world, and it's really cool to hear where all of the listeners are coming from. I hope you are enjoying. What time is it in Australia? It must be quite a late one, no? In Australia at the moment. I'm just gonna go quickly for just 2 minutes. I'm gonna go and get myself a quick drink, but don't go anywhere. I'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll have a quick discussion about what the second half could look like, and then we'll get back underway as the second half will be back soon. So don't go anywhere. I'll just be 2 minutes, and we'll have a quick discussion of what Rangers need to do to get themselves back in this game. Hello, we're back. As it is Rangers 0, Celtic 2 after the first half. Very deserved lead for Celtic. They've been brilliant when they've been on the ball. Rangers, not so. They've been the complete opposite. Seems like maybe the occasion of the game is getting to them slightly. I don't think the Rangers fans would like me saying that, but from what I'm seeing as a neutral, that's exactly what it looks like to me. Sunday 9:50pm, unfortunately. Spurs game is 3am Monday morning. Oh, that is a killer. Wow. I mean, that I couldn't deal with that. 3 o'clock in the morning. Wow. Because that's a really weird kickoff time, isn't it? It's like 6:30 kickoff or something. 6:30 kickoff, something like that. It's like a really weird kickoff. But I do appreciate you watching from Australia. That is really cool. Literally the other side of the world. And we've had goals, which I'm glad. It's not been 0-0. We've had a goal within 20 seconds, and then we've had then we've had a goal just 10 minutes before the break from the penalty spot. Matt O'Reilly scoring his first ever Old Firm goal. But there was interest from Matt O'Reilly from Inter Milan in the summer. But that interest, I think, just slightly drifted away from Matt O'Reilly, who is now a Danish international. He's made 2 appearances for Denmark, one in the November internationals last year, and then he also appeared for them once in the recent international break in March. Spent 11 years of his youth career coming through at Fulham before leaving for MK Dons, where he signed from for £1.5 million to come to Celtic, where he's now scored his 20th Scottish Premiership goal as well, so nice little landmark for him to hit there, as he only scored 3 goals last season in the league, Matt O'Reilly. He's now on 13, so he's added 10 more goals to his game, and he's also got 11 assists this season in the league, which is the most in the league as well, out of everyone. So he's really upped his game this season, which will probably only bring more interest, but whatever they sell him on for, Celtic, they'll make a profit. You know, bringing him in for £1.5 million from MK Dons, they'll probably times that by 10 in terms of what they sell him for. So really good bit of business there from Celtic, as Matt O'Reilly's really stepping up in this game in particular with that goal from the spot. But I feel like Philippe Clement, the Rangers head coach, needs to do the team talk of his life in this one, because just nothing looked right for Rangers, like, at all. Just all seemed off. Like, the patterns of play weren't existent. They kept going high over the top when it's the windiest day ever, and it just wasn't causing any problems for Celtic. I think that's what confused me the most. It's like, yeah, try it for 5-10 minutes, and if it's clearly not working, maybe try something else. Maybe try and keep it on the deck, try and actually keep the ball, not rush it so much. But I'm sure Philippe Clement can see it the same way as us, and he'll have to change something. Maybe that's changes at half time. They have definitely got players to bring on. Loads of attacking options on the bench. Rangers have got Tom Cantwell, Kieran Dowell, who's back in, who's been out since January. They've got Ross McCausland, Rabbi Matondo. They've also got Abdullah Sima, who's returning recently as well. He came back in their last game against Hibernian after missing the previous 13 out of a hamstring injury. That's a big player to come back, because Abdullah Sima is a really good player. I like him a lot. When we were commentating on the early season games for Rangers and we were watching Abdullah Sima, he was seriously good. You know, he's on 15 for the season in all competitions from 34 games. Shows really how much of a miss he's been. I know they're still up there. They've won the League Cup. They're in the Cup semi-final. They made it to the last 16 of the Europa League, so they haven't necessarily missed him as such. But he's a great player to have return. I think he would be a player, actually, who would have really benefited them in that Benfica game in the Europa League, because I feel like Abdullah Sima is just someone who can just take the game on his own and just get his team in the game. And that might be something they do here. They might bring him on at half-time here, because he's definitely someone who can just take the game on his own and just try his best to turn it around. But we'll have to see if any changes are made from Philippe Clement. I think it'll be just the same again. Wow, sorry. Yeah, same again for Brendan Rodgers. don't get me wrong, it's definitely two rather bizarre goals to concede with the elbow handball and the goal in 20 seconds, as it was a clearance from Tavernier which deflected off Maida. But I still think they deserve to be in the lead, no matter how they've ended up scoring their goals. But it's definitely, if Rangers can somehow mount a comeback here, then it would be one of the best comebacks in an Old Firm for a very long time. Like I say, if you haven't liked already or subscribed, please make sure you do. We are commentating again later on at the 3:30 kickoff UK time, as Manchester United host Liverpool for a second time in a couple of weeks, this time in the Premier League. But the second half will be getting underway here in hopefully a couple of minutes' time now. As this would put Celtic 4 points clear, as we've mentioned. They've got St Mirren at home next, and then Aberdeen in the Cup semi-final, and then the table gets split in half, and then they've got 5 more games after this in the league. Well, 6 including the St Mirren, then 5 more when the table gets split. So you feel like for Celtic, it's in touching distance, his league title. And I think the worst thing for Rangers in this game, alongside Celtic extending their lead at the top, I think is the fact that Celtic should, and I think will, take so much confidence from that first half performance. And if they can copy it in the second, they'll take so much confidence away. They really will, because they will just think, right, if we can do it away at Ibrox. Sorry if there was a bit of a disconnection there, buffering. If there was, I do apologise. Like I say, if they can do it here against Rangers, who were obviously the best team in the league alongside Celtic by a mile compared to the others, then they'll believe they can beat everyone in front of them now till the end of the season if they can just match performances like this one. So I think that's the worrying part for Rangers. Where will Celtic drop points next? Because of course now, even with the game in hand, if the result stays the same, Rangers will have to see Celtic drop points. That game in hand isn't enough for them to go ahead. They'll have to see Celtic drop points, and of course they'll have another bite at it. They'll have another Old Firm to go at Celtic Park. But it's just going to be a lot for Rangers to rely on. It'll definitely be out of their hands, which I don't think they will like, and I think Celtic will absolutely thrive off that, having the league title in their hands. It'll be up to them to decide if they can win it or not. As the Celtic players emerge back onto the field of play, and so do Rangers. Apologies. Who will need a huge second half performance, a much better second half performance than we did see the first, and it looks like we are going to get a half-time change here, and that does not surprise me in the slightest. And I'm telling you, I've got communication with Philippe Clement. He heard me. He's got an earpiece and he's listening to me. Abdelazima's on at half-time. He's just returning, as mentioned, from a hamstring problem. He's been out since about December, January time, and he just returned for the first time in their last game against Hibernian. And now he's on at half-time here. Scott Wright off, Abdelazima on, and he's definitely someone who can change the game, and that is exactly what Rangers will want to see. But as we get back underway, it'll be Celtic kicking right to left, Rangers left to right. It's the away team with kick-off. It's Taylor at left back, sends it down the left-hand side, up towards Maida, goes over the head of Tavernier, who will this time see it behind for a goal kick. And we are back underway here at Ibrox, as Celtic currently lead by 2-0. Brendan Rodgers will be a very happy man. And let's see how this second half plays out. Goldson goes long for Rangers, up towards Dess as he goes nowhere near him, and straight through for Joe Hart. Can't be doing that straight after half-time. You know, the Rangers fans are already annoyed. Don't get them annoyed straight away by just giving the ball away so cheaply. As Diamande does win it back off Etate. It's now Diamande, about 10 yards inside the Celtic half. He goes forward towards Silva. Can't quite slip it through to the Portuguese winger. And it's straight through to the gloves, into the gloves of Joe Hart, who's looking to keep his 13th clean sheet of the season in the league. They've picked up 4 in their last 10. They have picked up 7 away from home. As again, Celtic give it away this time. Goldson clips it down the right-hand side, flicked on off the head of Taylor. Seamer will chase it. It will go through here for Hart, who will take the touch in the left-back position, and he clears it off Dessers, and it will stay in here to Maida. He goes to the edge of the 18-yard box here to Carter Vickers. Back out to this near side now to Taylor. Forward for Maida. Back into Taylor. Bit of time on the ball as he plays it through the gap of Seamer and Lawrence through to O'Reilly, then plays it out to the right-hand side here to Johnston. Kuhn. Johnston overlaps him in the final third. Johnston gets it, tries to cross, but it's a good slide challenge there from Sterling. Throwing in the final third on the far side for Celtic, who take it quickly, throwing it into the box to Riley. Can't flick it on beyond Suter, but it will come off Suter and out for a corner. You feel like a third would kill it here for Celtic, and if they can get it early, then that would be perfect for what the away side want. So it's O'Reilly to take it short here to Kuhn. Back to O'Reilly on the angle. To the edge of the box here. Hatate on his own. Allowed to shoot. And it's saved by Butland. Just about got his body behind it. And he rolls out quickly into a right-back position where Lundstrom will bring it forward. He's got Maida chasing him down. But Lundstrom will keep it. He kicks it off Maida. Be thrown for Rangers just inside the Celtic half. Taken quickly by Lundstrom. Throws it straight to Taylor. It deflects off him to Maida. Plays a ball inside it to Kyogo. And then lifted in behind for Maida. That's a brilliant pass, and Maida can beat Goldson. But he can't quite get on the ball afterwards. Just slips and falls and allows Rangers to take over once again. It's now a Diamande on the halfway line for Rangers. Everyone behind the ball for Celtic. That's with Connor Goldson. Forced to go backwards here, possibly. Doesn't want to. And he'll eventually chip it out to the right-hand side to Tavernier, whose touch isn't great. Gives it away to Taylor, but his touch is heavy. Flicked forward by Lundstrom. Header won by Scales on Seamer. Headed forward, though, by Diamande. Lawrence can turn. Slip it through towards Dessers. Cut out by Carter Vickers. Not good enough, again, for Rangers. As they do win it back, Kuhn's touch is taken off him there by Sterling, just beyond the halfway line. And he'll drift into a central area here, Sterling, from left-back. And he plays it out to the right-hand side here to Seamer. Keeps the ball away from Taylor. Seamer running forward, down the line. Maida's going to come over to try and tackle him, and he tackles him very well. And it'll be a throw in for Rangers in the final third. Good defensive work there from Dyes and Maida. Tavernier across the box to the left-hand side to Silva. Finds Lundstrom. It's now Diamande, midway inside the Celtic half. He wants to go out to the left, and he does find Dujon Sterling. He's got Silva in front of him. Finds him. Silva in the box. Tries the cross. Comes off Johnston. Back to Silva, who'll cross a second time. Again deflects off Johnston, who then eventually can head away. All as far as Lundstrom, who picks it back up. Flicks it through for Silva. He can't take it under control. Flops himself to the ground, quite embarrassingly. And he will definitely not get a penalty for that. And Carter Vickers will play it through here for O'Reilly. Short pass towards Johnston, who can work it to Carter Vickers, who's then tackled fairly there by Lawrence. And it'll be a throw in for Celtic in a right-back position here. Captain Carter Vickers has been absolutely fantastic so far in this game. 26 years of age now. Joined for £6 million in July 2022 after spending the season before on loan from Spurs. So back underway here in the right-back position with Celtic with Johnston. Iwata finds O'Reilly, turns on Lundstrom, but Lundstrom doesn't allow him to get past him, and then Lundstrom's ball inside is misdirected, but it comes off Hatate. Seamer picks it up, can't quite slip it through for Dessers. Ball deflects out to the Celtic left here to Maida, who finds Taylor. 1-2, can't be completed as it goes to Tavernier instead, and it's now with Goldson in the Rangers half. Goes forward to Diamande, goes down over the challenge there of Hatate, and Diamande takes it quickly to Lundstrom, shifts it to the left-hand side to Sterling. His touch isn't great, gets away from him, but he can keep it away from Kuhn, and Sterling will bring it forward here, slips it to his left to Silva, in the box, onto his right foot, then onto his left, he goes down! And it's a yellow card for a dive. Fabio Silva is adamant it's a penalty, but he's been very theatrical today. And he's dived a couple of times. He dived about a minute ago. And he certainly dived again. It's just so embarrassing. And the referee, John Beaton, could not have been quicker on the case with that yellow card. It's almost like he knew he was going to dive and he already had the yellow card out. Fabio Silva's sure he's been caught. VAR will check it for sure. I don't think there's contact. Here's the angle. Silva onto his left foot. He even gets a touch of the ball. And then he just runs into Johnston's outstretched right leg. But he got the ball first anyway. Yes, there was maybe contact, but nothing to throw himself to the ground like he did. And Johnston definitely got the ball as well. He got a touch of the ball first. So for me, it's a pretty clean tackle, as we've now got Liam Scales on the ground now for Celtic. He's now back to his feet. So I'm not sure. Maybe they're still checking it. I think they are, but it's not a penalty for me. No, he's not checking the screen, is he? Oh, my word. The referee, John Beaton, has been told by VAR Nick Walsh to go and have a look at this. But he takes the ball first. This is what confuses me. If you watched the Brighton-Arsenal game yesterday, something similar happened with Lamptey on Jesus, where Lamptey got a touch of the ball first, then took out the man, but a penalty was given. Johnston's clearly got a touch of the ball. Yes, he's then caught Silva, but he's got the ball first. What else is he meant to do? Oh, they're showing him such a bad angle. They need to show him touching the ball first. They're not showing him touching the ball first. They're just showing the contact to him. This is ridiculous. They've got to show him making the contact with the ball. I mean, like I say, I'm a complete... There we go. Now they're showing him with the contact to the ball. Surely. They've got to show him touching the ball. They do. He touches the ball, then catches him. For me, that can't be a penalty. For me, it can't be. He gets the ball first. Does that not mean anything these days, getting the ball? Does that just not... It doesn't matter. Referee... Oh, he give a penalty. Oh, my word. I can't believe that. Fabio Silva wins a penalty for Rangers. Yellow card is taken off him. Johnston is already on a yellow. It can't be a second yellow for that, surely. So Rangers have been given a gift from the referee. The only thing I have against it, and what I don't understand is, he's got the ball first. Yes, he's then caught the man after. But he's got the ball. Does that not mean anything, getting the ball anymore? I just don't get it. I'm just confused. I don't understand. I don't get it. But Rangers have a chance here. Something they probably don't deserve off their performance so far. They haven't been good enough. It's as simple as that. But they can half the deficit here to make it 2-1. It'll obviously be Tavernier on the penalty. Can he score? He's got 5 in his last 5 in the league. Can Tavernier score from 12 yards? Just like O'Reilly did for Celtic in the first half. Tavernier takes it and he smashes it into the top left corner. The fight back is on for Rangers. Some might see it as a penalty. Some might see it as a very soft one to give. But after a VAR check, a penalty was given after a foul from Johnston on Silva. And Tavernier just about gets it above Joe Hart, who dived the right way. It's a brilliant penalty from Tavernier, who's now scored 124 goals for Rangers. He made his 450th appearance for the club last time out against Hibernian. And we have a game on our hands here. It's 2-1 at Ibrox. That will get the Rangers fans up for it. It'll get the Celtic fans at home a little bit nervous. But I just don't see... Personally, I mean, we all have an opinion, of course. It's just not a penalty for me. I want to try and see what other people think. Get Twitter's opinion on it, maybe. See what Twitter think. Twitter's always a good place to go to get a mix of opinions. As we are back underway here, it is 2-1. We've had 2 penalties in the game as Iwata, not seen as a foul from the referee there from Lawrence, and the counter's on. Silva running down the pitch. Silva slips it through. Seamer towards goal, blocked. He has a second go at it. Silva towards goal. Joe Hart saves, and it's forced in from Dessers. And Rangers have done the quick turnaround here. It's 2-2. Cyril Dessers with the goal as he celebrates with the home support. Celtic are certain there was a foul in the build-up there on Iwata. Nothing was given, but so much after that. Oh, it's a foul. It's a foul every day of the week. Lawrence clearly clips Iwata, which sent him to the ground. But even after that, there was so much Celtic could have done to avoid the goal. Silva in a central area was just allowed to run to the edge of the box. No one put in a challenge. He then slipped it to the right to Seamer, whose first cross was well dealt with there by Taylor. It bounced back to Seamer, who put it across. It came off Silva towards Dessers, whose first shot was blocked by Hart. It fell back to Cyril Dessers, the Nigerian striker, who on the second time of asking made sure he put that ball in the back of the net from a couple of yards out. And once again, the referee will be sent to VAR, and I will be absolutely gobsmacked if this is allowed to stand. Clearly a foul. Gets none of the ball, clips the Celtic midfielder, and that'll be disallowed. 100% this goal will be disallowed. Lawrence with the challenge midway inside his own half on Tomoki Iwata. And that goal will be... What? He's not giving it, has he? Please don't tell me he's... Oh, he's disallowed it. I thought he was pointing to the centre circle, I was going to say. So the goal has been disallowed. A foul in the build-up there from Tom Lawrence. Rightly given foul in the end. I'm not sure how he didn't see it first time of asking. It's quite clearly a foul. It looked like a foul in normal time. So VAR well involved in this Old Firm, and they've disallowed the goal. Rightfully so. Dessers hasn't scored his 14th of the season in the league, as we've got police on the case here in the Celtic technical area. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. It's now with Celtic on the edge of the 18-yard box of Hart. Sends it long, high, out to the left-hand side where it'll be seen out of play by Tavernier for a throw-in. Wants to take it quickly, if possible, getting his team to drift across the pitch here. Throws it long down the line, looking for Dessers. Cut out by the thigh of Scales, straight to Seamer, who goes across to the left here for Diamande. This goal has clearly lifted the Rangers team, not just the crowd. They just relax the ball here with Diamande in the midfield. Goes across to his right here to Lundstrom. Forward towards Seamer. Strong tackle from Taylor. Works it to Maida. Just goes away from the Japanese winger. And there'll be a throw-in again for Rangers inside the Celtic half here. As we've got half an hour to play. It's been an erratic second half. But it's what we want to see as neutrals. I'm not sure Celtic fans are enjoying this one, as their lead has already been cut in half. And Sterling from left back bringing it forward. It's stopped in his tracks by Kuhn. That's a brilliant tackle from the German winger. He's not got a lot going forward, but he gets away from Suter. Pokes it through towards Kyogo, who'd made the run in behind, but the ball was short. Picked up by Goldson. Rangers back on the ball here. Lundstrom just inside his own half. He's looking to the right side. He finds Tavernier here, who will chip it down the line, looking for the runner Lundstrom, who takes it under control and plays it into the path here of Seamer. Brilliant football from Rangers. They're starting to turn the switch on here. Seamer crosses. It's a very deep one. Too deep. Dessers will chase it. He will keep it in on the far side. And he'll play it to the edge of the box to Diamande. Good work there from Dessers. Diamande forward. It's a high ball. Headed away on the edge of the box by Iwata. Oh, as far as Tavernier. His ball forward. Loops in the air. Out to Diamande on the left. Who will let it bounce. And it's headed forward by Kuhn towards O'Reilly, who's brought to the ground there by Diamande, who very strongly disagrees with that decision. Threw himself to the ground in dismay that that's gone against him. But it remains Rangers 1, Celtic 2 here. Just under half an hour of the 90 to play. As Celtic switch out to the left, looking for Maida. Comes off the head of Tavernier, and he tries to play the ball forward. Tavernier lifts it down the line. Too heavy for Seamer. Dealt with by Scales for Celtic. As Iwata tries to go out to the left, can't find Taylor, the left back. And there'll be a throw-in for Rangers just in front of the halfway line on this near side. Thrown by Tavernier, controlled by Lawrence, lifted down the right channel here for Dessers, headed away by Scales, won back by Diamande, only as far as Iwata, as Maida goes back to Taylor, who turns to his left foot, down the line to Maida, ball inside to Hetate, stopped in his tracks there by Lawrence, and that'll be a free kick for Celtic. Rightly given by the referee, another late challenge there by Tom Lawrence, who's making his first ever start in an Old Firm derby today. Tom Lawrence, as he brings down Rio Hetate, who's only making his 17th appearance. He's only making his 13th appearance of the season in all competitions. Like I say, struggled with a hamstring and a calf injury this season, Rio Hetate. Signed a new 5-year deal in September of last year. Hetate, after rejecting a deal before that, he eventually signed up a new one till 2028, as it does look like they're going to get their captain ready here, Celtic, of Callum McGregor, who's missed the last 3 games out, but he was able to make the bench today, and it looks like they're going to try and introduce him if possible, because they definitely need a cool head in there now, because it's starting to get a little bit nervy for Celtic here, as Diamande there just receiving some treatment for Rangers, so I've had just a quick pause in the game, but it is a Celtic free kick here on halfway with Liam Scales. Goes across now to the right centre-back of Carter Vickers. Forward for Kyogo. Heavy touch taken off him by Lawrence. Galton clears away down the Rangers left. Fabio Silva's going to chase it, but the ball's overhit. Straight through to Joe Hart here. Like I say, if you could like and subscribe, it would really help me out. It takes 2 seconds, and it does help the channel grow a lot. And it is very much appreciated. The Celtic at left back with Taylor. Forward, inside. Can't find the striker of Kyogo. Headed forward by Galton. Laid off to Lundstrom through Dessers. It's now with Suter on halfway. And that band on his head after receiving an injury in the first half. And he's gone on a run on his own here. Brought down on the edge of the box fairly by Johnston. Brilliant slide tackle on Suter, who was going on a marauding run from centre-back. And as Celtic try and break, Maida couldn't receive the ball ahead of Tavernier. It's gone back to Butland, who clears it to Diamande in the midfield. Turns forward here. Diamande and plays it down the right-hand side for Seamer, who will beat Taylor to it. Seamer towards the byline. On this near side, he crosses and it deflects back towards Seamer, who will head it inside to the box here to Lawrence, who will lift it to the far post. He's overcut that one, and he'll go out for a goal kick for Celtic. Not good enough there from Tom Lawrence. Been a little bit uninvolved in the game on the whole. Tom Lawrence, I think a player like Todd Cantwell would maybe be better in a game like this, where it's starting to become a little bit more open for Rangers, as it's going to be a Celtic double change here. Rio Hetate, who has started the last 2 games now after being out since early January, he will be replaced by Callum McGregor, appearing in his 37th Old Firm derby. And the second change will see Nicholas Kuhn, the German right winger. He will be replaced by Yang Hun Jun, another like for like swap there. So central midfield off for central midfielder, then winger off for winger, as Yang Hun Jun, the Korean, comes on. Signed in the summer from Gangwon. Just the 1 league goal though for him. And that came in a 6-0 win in mid-November to Aberdeen. So Celtic's number 13 is on. It's Tavernier with a throw. Midway side of the Celtic half. He throws it backwards here to the halfway line to Galton. Now with Suter being closed down here by Yang. Quickly getting into the flow of the game here. It's with left back Sterling driving inside away from Johnston. Finding Diamande, who's facing his own goal here, but he can turn on McGregor. Brilliant football there from Diamande as he works it to Seamer on the right wing. Oh, he tries to do the step overs to get beyond Taylor, but he was brought to the ground before he could get around the left back. And it'll be a free kick for Rangers. Good step overs there from Seamer, then caught. I'm surprised that's not a yellow that for Greg Taylor. Got nowhere near the ball. So in a right wing position here, probably just outside the final third. It's a Rangers free kick here. A chance for a delivery from James Tavernier, who's got himself on the score sheet today from the penalty spot as he crosses it in. Fabio Silva flicks on to the edge of the area, headed forward by Lundstrom, volleyed away for Celtic. All as far as Dujon Sterling, who will kick it forward down the Rangers left. Lundstrom will chase it, but it's overhit once again and out of play for a Celtic goal kick. And for Tavernier, that's now his 6th goal in an Old Firm derby. He scored 3 last season. He's also got goals now in back-to-back Old Firm derbies. He scored a brilliant free kick last time out in late December in the Rangers 2-1 defeat against Celtic. As Hart kicks this long beyond the halfway line, looking for Yang, headed away by Suter. It's now out to the Rangers left here to Sterling, who volleys it down the left-hand side. Silva will chase it, but he's chasing Carter Vickers down. The ball will roll out, though. That wind is ridiculous. I think that wind gave it an extra couple of miles an hour, and that quickly rolled out of play for a goal kick. It'll be taken here by Joe Hart. But last season, these two sides were separated by 7 points in the end. Rangers with 92 and Celtic with 99. Rangers scoring 114 last season in the league. I think that is definitely Ange ball in full effect there. As it's a Rangers free kick here on the left-hand side. Sterling tripped by Yang, who's trying to plead his innocence, but the referee's not having any of it. Just tried to burst down the left wing there, Sterling, and was stopped pretty quickly by Yang, the recent substitute. It's a Tavernier cross again. On the left-hand side, so it'll be a right-footed in-swinger this time. As again, Celtic hold their high line here, just in front of the 18-yard box. It'll be a right arm raised from Tavernier, and he crosses the ball in. It's a good one towards Lawrence, and it's had to be helped over there by Carter Vickers on the 6-yard line. I believe he got the last touch, or was it Lawrence who got the touch in the end? Lawrence was onside. Good ball there as Joe Hart decided to back off and not come for that one. I think it was Lawrence with the last touch, in fact, but it was Carter Vickers who got in the way and definitely put him off. And with just less than a quarter of the game to play, Rangers still trail. It wouldn't be a bad result if they draw this one. It really wouldn't. And Celtic are going to make a change. And as he was looking for his 50th league goal in a Celtic shirt, Kyogo has been very isolated and not very involved in this game. He's got a brilliant record against Rangers, Kyogo, 7 in 11. He scored 5 against them last season. He scored twice against them this season. But today he was completely uninvolved. And it does mean that he will be replaced by Adam Eder, Baloney from Norwich for Celtic. And Rangers are going to make 2 changes of their own. Tom Lawrence replaced by Todd Cantwell. And Fabio Silva, the man who won the penalty, will be replaced by Rabbi Matondo. And Rabbi Matondo is featuring in his 17th league game. Only one of those previous 16 he's featured in have ended up in defeat, and that was the loss at home to Celtic in September. Can he be another good luck omen again for Rangers? As Butland has it, can't quite clear it very cleanly, slices it out of play for a Celtic throw-in in a right wing position on the far side. Not the greatest of balls given back to him there by Sterling, a little bit bouncy, and he wasn't able to deal with it cleanly. And Celtic are in the final third here. Not been here very often in the second half. As Johnston, the right back, wants to take the throw-in. Taking his time here. Eventually throws it into the 18-yard box towards Eder. Bounces beyond him and then into the gloves of Butland, who will try and quickly roll this one out, and he will do so here to Tavernier, who will bring it forward. He's been chased down by Maida, but he plays the ball forward to Seamer, who can't take on Taylor. Last touch off the Celtic full-back, and it'll be a throw-in for Rangers. And Tavernier goes back here to Goldson. Bit of a poor touch, but he'll get there ahead of Eder. It's now a Butland forward to Suter, who can turn and look forward. Wants to try and play a pass, but he goes to his right instead to Goldson, who will keep it in on the near side, and he goes down the line to Tavernier, who will be tripped from behind by Maida. There'll be a yellow card for the winger. Slowing down the restart. It's now on the far side here with Sterling. Back to the halfway line to Suter. In between the two centre backs is Diamande, and he has it, and he plays it to the other centre half of Goldson. Then forward and down the right hand side to Tavernier, and he goes for a pass down the line for Seamer, asking way too much of the winger, and that'll be a goal kick. Really poor pass that from James Tavernier, as Abdullah Seamer, the Senegalese winger, has got pace, but he's not quite that quick, unfortunately. And we're less than 20 minutes of the 90. Celtic, who still lead, as they will go 4 points clear at the top, even though they have played an extra game. As it's now back with Rangers, with Tavernier heading it back to Butland ahead of Eder, Celtic's number 9, who's got 5 goals in 8 league appearances since joining on loan as Seamer, caught out by Taylor, brings it forward for Celtic on the left, lifts it over the head of Diamande, controlled by Yang, tackled though by Sterling in the central area, and he plays out to the left here to Matondo, off the bench. He's fresh, he's got full of pace, but his touch isn't great, taken off him there by Iwata, and then Carter Vickers helps it down the line there to Yang, to Iwata again. It goes to the right flank here for O'Reilly, keeps it in, and gets pulled down by Diamande, and that'll be a free kick for Celtic. Really good midfield work there by Matt O'Reilly, who's the difference maker at the moment with that second goal he scored. As Carter Vickers has to come across and slide in ahead of Dessers. Celtic were messing around with the ball in their own half. It's now a Lundstram on this near side. Everyone behind the ball for Celtic. It's played to the halfway line to Galton. Plays it back out to the right-hand side here to Cantwell, who slips it through here for Tavernier. Touch goes behind him. Dealt with by Iwata, but not very well. Plays it straight back through for Tavernier. He goes backwards to Lundstram. He wants to try and keep it. He goes across to the left to Suter. Forward to Sterling. Then out to the right to Cantwell. Time in space in the box as he runs at Taylor. Cantwell pulls it back. Tavernier clips it to the far post. Headed away for Johnston for Celtic. Cleared away. Played back forward by Goldson to Diamande. And they work it to the left-hand side here. Matondo crosses, headed away from Carter Vickers, and the play will be stopped here. That's Celtic's Yang Hunjun goes down holding his head as Diamande beat him to it. Yeah, just clash of heads there. Surprised the referee didn't stop play there, in all honesty. Quite clearly a clash of heads as Yang is back to his feet, though, rather quickly. Coming towards the closing stages of this game. Scales clears it off the back of McGregor. Thankfully drops to Iwata, who gets it forward towards Eder on the halfway line. Can't hold it up ahead of Suter. Then Diamande's ball forward again. He's rushed and straight through to the gloves of Joe Hart. Again, just rushing too much here, Rangers. Still, they need to relax a little bit, I think. And it's with the left back Taylor. Down the line, it's a high ball. It will find Eder, who holds it up away from Galton. Lays it off for Maida, then returns it down the line here for Eder. In the final third, puts a low cross into the box here. Chance for Celtic. It's a big tackle. Huge challenge there from Sterling as Yang was trying to get the goal. And Celtic have a ball to deal with here as Rangers go long. Hart comes out and clears outside the 18-yard box. And it goes far, but it's headed back forward by Diamande. Played down by Iwata, touched on by O'Reilly towards Eder, who's caught by Diamande. Nothing given by the referee. Ball eventually drops to Suter. It goes down the left-hand side to Matondo. Tackled strongly and fairly here by Iwata. And Celtic have it back here. 15 minutes to play. Iwata bundled to the ground in the end by Lundstram. He was almost taking a little bit too long there, Iwata. Got away with that one. And we've got a Celtic player down here, and I think it's Dujon Sterling. After that brilliant slide tackle there on Yang as he tried to shoot on the penalty spot. And it looks like he's hurt himself in the process there. But it was a very much needed tackle. Brilliant defending in the end by Sterling, but it looks like he's hurt his left knee. As Rangers are going to make another change here. And it looks like Kieran Dowell will be coming on for Rangers. He's missed so much of the season injured. Kieran Dowell. He was out from August to October, then November to December, then he's been out since January. This would only be his 12th appearance of the season in all competitions. He has got 2 league goals, though, in 7. Scored in the second game of the season against Livingston, and then his last goal came on Christmas Eve against Dundee. So, Dujon Sterling receiving a little bit of treatment here. Like I say, if you are new or you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do. It takes 2 seconds and it really helps the channel grow. As we are commentating later on, literally in 2 hours' time, we're going again as Manchester United host Liverpool in the Premier League. It'll be a massive game for the title races. Both Arsenal and Manchester City picked up 3 points yesterday. As for Dujon Sterling, he's currently struggling at the moment. They have got Borna Barisic on the bench, who is an out-and-out left-back. As they're still going to make the change to bring on Kieran Dowell, who will come on for Mohamed Diamande. So Diamande off for Dowell, so more of an attacking change. There's a bit more of a defensive-minded midfielder is brought off for an attacking midfielder. So we're going to get back underway here. Dujon Sterling still off the pitch. Matondo covering at left-back. As it's McGregor to Johnston at right-back in front of Cantwell. Then down the line towards O'Reilly. Well defended by Lundstram, but they can't keep it away from O'Reilly, but they can the second time. But Matondo's ball forward to Cantwell deflects to Dowell instead. And it's a chance for Rangers. Sterling back on the pitch for the home side as Dowell brings it out to the right-hand side. Try to slip it through in behind for Seamer. Brilliant pass. Seamer just can't get there, though, and he runs into the advertisement board. Almost the inch-perfect pass there by Dowell, who makes an instant impact off the bench. Great running behind Taylor there by Seamer, but just overhit, literally, by about half a yard. And Celtic play it went, and with 12 minutes to go, Rangers still trail by a goal. Hart goes long from the goal kick towards Eder, who will beat Galton to it in a left wing position. Adam Eder keeps the ball in play, and he plays it back here to Taylor. Will charge forward himself with it, and he kicks it off Dowell, and that'll be a throw-in for Celtic, midway side the Rangers half it. They've not done much going forward the second half, Celtic, but they've defended well. It's Maida, can't turn away from Galton. Ball seen out to play for a goal kick. Tried to dummy the ball there, Maida, to send Galton the wrong way. But he read it well, Galton. And Maida couldn't keep the ball in play. It's Butland from the goal kick, goes long himself, up towards Dessers, header won by Carter Vickers. Loose ball here for Matondo, can't head it to Cantwell. Dealt with here by McGregor, who volleys forward. Up towards Eder, who will chase it down this Celtic left. He'll beat Galton to it as well. Brilliant forward play from Eder. Down the left-hand side. Suter's coming across to cover. Plenty of Celtic bodies in there. Eder wants to go alone, and his shot goes well wide. Still alive in the box, but taken away from Celtic through Dowell. Poor pass that from Yang towards Iwata. And Rangers can break down the left-hand side. Slows down slightly as it's now with Cantwell, who's drifted over to the left-hand side. It's now with Matondo again in the final third. Inside to Cantwell, who's tackled by Johnston. The ball deflects, so back in the box to Matondo, who will shoot towards goal. Brilliant block there by Carter Vickers. And it'll be kept in by Iwata. Iwata. Cleared down up towards Eder, who gets the chested touch, but it's straight to Tavernier. It's back with Rangers on the left-hand side, where Lundstram can't keep it in. Not the greatest of passes there by Kieran Dowell. We've got 10 minutes left to play here. Celtic still lead as they're looking for 3 wins in a row in Old Firm derbies this season. They won the first one here 1-0. They won the second one 2-1 at Celtic Park. And they're looking for another 2-1 victory here. As Galton now has it as Celtic give it away from the throw-in. It's now forward to Seamer in a central area, bundled down from behind by Taylor. Nothing given by the referee. Played forward towards O'Reilly for Celtic, just goes in front of him, picked up by Lundstram instead. Then Galton clips out to the right wing, can't find Cantwell, good header away by Taylor. And it will reach O'Reilly, who heads it into the path of Maida. Turns away from Lundstrom, but straight into Tavernier. And it's now with Suter from centre-back. Playing it to the right here on the halfway line to Tavernier. Forward to this near side to Cantwell. First pass deflects off Greg Taylor. And the second pass then deflects again off Taylor. And it'll be a throw-in for Rangers. But before they take it, we'll have a substitute. And the change will be made by Celtic. And it's going to be Paolo Bernardo, who scored one of the 2 goals in the last Old Firm. And he will replace someone who scored in this one. Matt O'Reilly from the penalty spot 10 minutes before half-time. Scoring his first ever goal in an Old Firm derby. It's his 13th in the league this season. He's now got 3 in his last 5. Matt O'Reilly, and he'll be replaced by Paolo Bernardo, who got the goal scoring underway in that last Old Firm derby in late December. So another change, bit of a freshen up of legs in the midfield for Celtic. It's on the far side with Rangers. Matondo goes back to Suter. Then across on the halfway line now with Lundstrom. Lifts it out to the right flank here to Tavernier. Heads it inside to Seamer. Good touch. Can't quite keep it away from McGregor. But gets it back though for Rangers. Seamer finds the pass back to Lundstrom, who's then tripped by Maida. And that'll be a free kick for Rangers. Right on this touchline here on the near side. Lundstrom winning the free kick there. Just lifting it over the trailing leg of Maida. And then clipped by the Japanese winger. As it'll be Tavernier to cross this in the box. Rangers running out of time. It's a game they simply just cannot lose. If they draw, that'll still be enough for them with the game in hand to go top. It's Tavernier. Lovely ball into the near post. Headed well wide of the goal there by John Lundstrom. And it'll be a goal kick for Celtic. Just not really good enough there by John Lundstrom, whose 2 goals this season have come in the cup. Still not scored in the league, John Lundstrom. His last goal in the Scottish Premiership was back in December 2022 against Ross County. His heart goes long again from the goal kick up towards Ida, who just flicked this ball on. And it'll be chased down by Bernardo, but it's well dealt with here by Lundstrom. And it's back to Butland, who's sending his team forward here. Butland thinking about going long. And he eventually does go long here, Butland, kicking it forward. Free header won by Scales. Headed out wide left by Bernardo to Maida. Lays it off here for McGregor, who's charging down the left-hand side here for Celtic. Gets away from Tavernier, but it'll be Dowell to get there ahead of him. And he goes back to Butland, who will clear this one first time. Down the Rangers right. Seamer can't beat Scales to it. Headed forward to Bernardo. His pass towards Ida is won back for Rangers by Suter. And it's now with the home team on the halfway line with Matondo. Only option is for him to go backwards, and he finds Suter, who then goes forward to Lundstrom. His pass deflects off Yang, and that'll be a Rangers throw-in, taken quickly by Matondo. Goldson. Good ball out to the right to Tavernier, well controlled as well. Drives inside away from Maida. Then forward to Dessers, holds the ball up on the edge of the box, lays it off for Dowell, who wants to try and take a touch and shoot, but it's taken off him by Scales. Can only clear it as far as Sterling. Matondo, cross goes in. Well one header there by Scales. It's now with Bernardo on the edge of the box here for Celtic, who can clear it forward towards Ida. Loses out though to Suter. Vital defending there by John Suter in the end. And it'll be Goldson to bring it forward. 5.5 minutes to play. Goldson tries to find Tavernier down the right-hand side. Another shocking pass. It's given away. And it's a Celtic goal kick. Just don't understand these constant high balls from Rangers. I just don't understand it. With such a windy day, it seems like a risky style of play to just keep going with these high balls in behind. Feels like it would be better to keep it on the deck. His Hart clears it again long from the goal kick up towards Ida. Volleyed forward by Goldson instead. Last touch off McGregor. Throwing on this near side for Rangers. Inside their own half. Throwing it back to Goldson. And now Goldson. Low ball down the line. Finds Cantwell. Who's then brought down from behind by Iwata. Don't think it's a foul. Oh, it is a foul. Taken quickly by Cantwell. Dowell. Forward to Dessers. Out to the right to Cantwell. He can't quite take it under control. Difficult ball to deal with, quite high in the end that. But then it can be won back through Sterling. Poor ball from Celtic. Sterling out to the left to Matondo. In the box, on his right foot. Shoots. It's well blocked by Carter Vickers. In the box. Seamer shoots. It's deflected and in. Rangers have completed their comeback in this second half. And Abdullah Sima, who's been out for the entirety of this new year, has returned with a huge goal in the title race. He's come off the bench in the last 2 games, Abdullah Sima. And in this one, he's provided an important goal. It was won back by Sterling. Caught Yang on his toes. Matondo's first shot was well blocked by Carter Vickers, but it fell to Sima, who on his own in the box was allowed to shoot. It deflected, looped into the top right corner. And with less than 4 minutes to go of normal time, it's Rangers 2, Celtic 2. Abdullah Sima providing another huge moment this season for Rangers on loan from Brighton. It's his first goal since the 2nd of January against Kilmarnock. Since then he's been out injured as it's Celtic to score again. Almost immediately, Adam Eder, off the bench himself, gives Celtic the lead again. It's his 6th goal in 9 league appearances since he's joining on loan from Norwich. And what an inspired January signing. He was on the left-hand side here with Bernardo, who brought it forward. He drove inside, played a ball through for Eder, who was allowed to get the shot off as he had Sterling and Suter right in front of him. It somehow went through both of them and beyond Butland in the Rangers goal. It's too easy. And Celtic, within a minute, are back ahead. That is beyond a frustrating goal to concede for Rangers. Literally, I think there's a minute in between those 2 goals. That is criminal defending from Rangers. To allow Bernardo to bring it forward and cut in like he did, and then to play it in the box to Eder, and allow Eder to have the touch and have the shot when he's got 2 Rangers defenders in front of him. That is so poor. And somehow, Celtic have regained the lead so late on. Adam Eder is becoming a Celtic hero. And he's only been at the club for 4 months. As Eder has it again, away from Lundstrom. Strong tackle from Sterling. Ball goes forward, headed away from Carter Vickers. Cantwell tries to go in behind. Again, it's a hopeful ball. It's nowhere near his intended target of Dessers. And it's into the hands of Joe Hart. As his Rangers grabbed onto the leveller, it was quickly taken off them as they went behind once again. Celtic are toying with them. It is almost like they said, go on, get back in the game. You can get back in the game. Oh, wait, no, you're not. You're not allowed. We'll have that back. Ridiculous. But Rangers are away on the right-hand side. Seamer tries to cross, comes off scales, but Seamer heads it forward to Cantwell. Can't quite return it to Seamer. Cleared only as far as Tavernier, who goes forward to Cantwell. Space in the box. He crosses in. It's another good header from Scales. And it'll be a throw-in in the final third for Rangers, as that must have zapped out any kind of momentum in this Rangers team. Conceding again so soon after his Cantwell's trip there by Maida. And in the final third in the right wing position, this is a free kick in a great area for a cross. Be Tavernier to take it, who got them back in the game through the penalty kick. Early on in the second half, he'll cross this ball and it's a good ball. Goldson with the header! And out it goes for a goal kick. He wanted the corner. Great outswinging cross from Tavernier, about 6 yards out. Goldson headed, and I think that should have been a corner. Let's have a look from this angle. I don't know, I can't tell. 8 minutes added on, though. 8 minutes for Rangers to save this game. Joe Hart again goes long out to the left-hand side. Headed backwards by Maida. Flicked inside by Seamer. Headed forward by Iwata. All as far as Yang, who gets it over the top here towards Maida. Tavernier will try and see it out, but Maida gets a touch forward. It'll be Tavernier to collect it, though, and it'll go forward to Dowell, then out across the box there. It's a shocking ball. Yang picks it up. Tackled, though, by Sterling. And the last touch comes off the Celtic man, throwing it right next to the corner flag for Rangers. That is a crazy ball to play there from Dowell, right across his own box. He gets away with it. Celtic can't deal with this ball down the line. Cantwell goes forward to the halfway line to Dessers, headed out a touch there by Carter Vickers. And it's back in play now with John Souttar. What a dramatic ending to this game at Ibrox. As they go down the right-hand side here to Tavernier. Keeps it away from Maida. Goes across to his left here to Souttar on the edge of the centre circle. Goes out to the left here to Matondo. It's a short pass. He loses out to Johnston, who completes a 1-2 with Yang. Johnston down the right-hand side. Ida will chase it. Souttar will head forward. On to Lundstrom. On once more by Sterling. Matondo will chase this one in behind here. Johnston will get there first, and he doesn't volley it out of play. It stays in somehow. And Matondo eventually gets the last touch of Johnston. Kicks it off of him. And that'll be a Celtic goal kick. And what a way this could be for Celtic to win the game. To be pegged back at 2-2 with 3 minutes to go. And then to score again a minute later. What an unbelievable ending to the game. Such good striker play off the bench from Adam Ida. He's been very isolated up front since coming off the bench. But he's been able to work his Irish magic there. As Tavernier clears long for Rangers up towards Dessers. Nods it into the path of Cantwell. Then to the left to Dessers again. As they go forward towards the Celtic goal. And he goes forward to Matondo. Beyond him to Cantwell. In the box. Back to goal. He's got Carter Vickers trying to stop him here. As he goes to the edge of the area to Lundstrom. To the left now to Matondo. He's going to run at Yang. Matondo. Right-footed shot! That is brilliant! And once again, Rangers equalise. And can they make this scoreline stick? That is incredible. The substitutes simply cannot stop scoring. Ida has scored off the bench for Celtic on loan from Norwich. And now Matondo from the left-hand side, cutting onto his right foot, allowed to shoot to the far corner. And off the bench, he has made some impact. Too easy for him to get onto his right foot there by Yang, who showed him inside. And then the shot was allowed to be taken. Joe Hart's got absolutely no chance. He scored in Rangers' last game in their 3-1 win at home to Hibernian. He scored that one off the bench. And he scored again off the bench today. And the title goes back into the hands here of Rangers, who with that game in hand, if they were to win it, they would go top. There's another chance for Celtic. Goes away, header away from Souttar. Helped on by Seamer. Scales helps it forward. Oh, apparently he's fouled him. I don't think he did. Got the ball there, Scales. But it's been given as a foul. What a goal that is from Matondo. And the draw would definitely suit Rangers more for me. With that game in hand, it would put them top. We've had a 6-goal thriller here. We've only had 3 draws in the last 17 Old Firm derbies. They don't come around very often. We had 1 draw last season, and that was at Ibrox. It was 2-2 at the start of 2023. And with 3.5 minutes, if Rangers could win this, that would be ridiculous. As it is, Rangers on the ball here with Lundstrom. It's with the equaliser score of Matondo. Goes to Souttar, who loses out to Ida on the halfway line. Can't quite keep it away though from Lundstrom on the Celtic right. And it's back with Rangers with their goalkeeper Butland, who clears it away first time, left-footed, up to the halfway line, headed away by Johnston at right back for Celtic. Dowell tried to volley the ball, but instead volleyed Bernardo, the Celtic midfielder. And it'll be a free kick for the away side, who were pegged back. Then they went back ahead a minute later, but then they've been pulled back in the game again, all square. But as neutral viewing, this has been absolutely brilliant. And will we get a winner here? 2.5 minutes left to play. Paolo Bernardo will try and launch this one into the box. Bernardo crosses. It's a deep one. No one's there chasing it. That is a shocking free kick, that is. And Butland wants to take it quickly if possible. It'll be Butland. He's going to go long with this one. The Celtic are going to make a change here. Connor Goldson off for Liam Balogun with 2 minutes to play. Not quite sure why. Goldson's not on a booking. Maybe just another target man up there with a bit more energy. But up we go. Butland with a long kick. Helped on by Seamer towards Dessers. Can he turn away from Carter Vickers? No, he can't. Good defending from the American. Clears it away from the penalty spot. And there'll be a throw in here for Rangers. On the far side. Less than 90 seconds to go. Down the line to Cantwell. Back it goes into Sterling. It's now with Suter. Everyone behind the ball for Celtic. Suter. Tackle by Bernardo. Last touch off Suter. That is brilliant from Bernardo. Really relieves the pressure there from Celtic. With just a minute to play. Can try and keep this into the Rangers half if possible. Johnston throws it forward. Eda's layoff. Can find Iwata. Then across to the left now to Taylor. High ball in behind looking for Maida. It's gone over his head. Out for a goal kick for Rangers. This needs to go if they want the winner. Butland goes long. Out towards the Rangers right. It will stay in play until Seamer can't win the header. And it bounces away and out of touch for a Celtic throw in midway side their own half here on this near side. Thrown down the line to the halfway line. Flicked on by Eda. Tavernier clears away ahead of Maida. Up towards Dessers, who's battling with Scales. Scales wins the header, but they're headed back forward by Dowell. Drops here loose for Dessers, who strikes from afar, and it just goes wide. What a winner that would have been by Cyril Dessers. He was bouncing around. It eventually dropped to him as Cantwell was tackled strongly by Carter Vickers. And it was always just curling wide of the post. But it's not a bad attempt there by Cyril Dessers. I think the roof would have come off this ground if that had gone in with one of the last kicks of the game. We've played the 8 added on. We have had a goal within the added on time, so we might have an extra minute or so to play. As Hart takes the goal kick. High into the sky it goes. And the referee blows for full time here at Ibrox. One of the most entertaining Old Firms we've had for a very long time. As I think there's a little bit of afters here in this Old Firm derby. Scales and Diamande are involved. As it's ended all square here. As we've not really found out anything more from this title race. It's as we were, a point apiece. Celtic still top by a point, but Rangers have a game in hand. They're trying just to calm this one down here. As obviously we've had a very dramatic ending to this game. So emotions just boiling over slightly. It's been calmed down. Started with Cantwell and McGregor. And then Greg Taylor got involved, and then so did everyone else. But it's all been calmed down now. Don't want to ruin what has been a very entertaining Old Firm. It's a game that, realistically, neither team could lose, and none of them have. They've had to share the point in the end. The advantage is to Rangers at the moment with that game in hand. But in terms of points on the board, it is Celtic who lead the title race at the moment. 3-3 it ends. It started with a 2-0 lead for Celtic going into half-time. A goal within 20 seconds from Maida. As a clearance from Tavernier deflected off the right leg of the Japanese winger. Straight past Butland, and it gave Celtic the perfect start. And with 10 minutes before the break, they added a second from the penalty spot. A handball from Goldson went in the favour of Celtic, and it was dispatched by Matt O'Reilly, who scores his first ever Old Firm derby goal. And 10 minutes after the second half began, Celtic conceded the penalty of their own this time. Tavernier dispatched. It was an apparent foul from Johnston on Silva. VAR had to have a look. The referee eventually gave it. Again, it'll be one of those penalties which will cause debate. But it was given, it was taken, and it was scored by Tavernier, which got Rangers back in the game. And they completed the comeback with 4 minutes to go. Abdelassima with a deflected strike into the bottom right corner, into the top right corner. Looked like it gave Rangers a point. But a minute later, literally a minute later, Adam Idah gave Celtic the lead once again. Bernardo from the left wing came inside, played the ball through into the box to Idah, who got the touch away and the shot off ahead of Suter and Sterling. Poor defending, really. And in dramatic circumstances, it gave Celtic the lead once again with 3 minutes to play. But in 3 minutes into added on time, Rabbi Matondo off the bench again to score again for Rangers in back-to-back games from the left wing, cutting onto his right foot, bent it into that far right corner. It was a brilliant goal. It was unstoppable for Joe Hart. It gave Rangers another draw, another result in the game where they were level, and they were able this time to keep it. They almost won it late within the last minute. Cyriel Dessers with a strike towards the bottom right corner, and it just went wide. That would have literally taken the roof off, but it wasn't meant to be. But in this game, at Ibrox, it finishes Rangers 3, Celtic 3. What an insane end. 3 goals in the final 10 minutes. And it's meant the game is finished all square at 3-3. Great commentary, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone who did join and who stayed along for the game. I hope you enjoyed that ending. I certainly did. I think I need a little bit of a lie down after that. That's definitely tired me out a little bit. A fantastic end to the game here. But we are commentating once again, and literally the stream starts in an hour and 15. So make sure you're back for 3:30 UK time as we are commentating on Manchester United against Liverpool. Make sure you're here for that one. Very enjoyable game, thanks. Yeah, thank you very much for everyone who tuned in. Make sure you like and subscribe before you go. But here at Ibrox, in a very entertaining Old Firm derby, in a game where neither team could lose, none of them did, it's ended all square here at Ibrox as it finishes Rangers 3, Celtic 3.